So, audience, this is a great debate. Like, would you pay to go to someone's wedding? If they charged you, would you pay? And if you would you buy them a gift?
And welcome to the Barggianos podcast. My name is Chuck. I am your hostess with the leastest, and with me, as always,
Matt.
my friend Matt. How's Matt doing this lovely, lovely day?
It's good. The bar is kind of empty. Like, I feel empty-ish right now.
Well, it's been a lot of decorations going on at the bar.
I know.
We had the St. Patty's Day episode. We were doing belly shots off of Derek a couple weeks. Wait, no, that wasn't an episode.
Yeah.
We're doing it all.
Doing it all down at Barggianos.
Oh, man. Well, you want to get this party started, my friend?
Yeah. I'm ready for some karaoke. I was thinking about that the other night.
Karaoke? We can do that. We definitely can do that. So if you're new to the show, what we like to do to get the show started, we always like to do time for a drink. Cheers. Ooh, that's good.
Well, Chuck, today we're going to talk about little things money. You know, we're going to talk about weddings. We're going to talk about tipping. We're going to talk about first dates.
Wow.
You know, got a little bit of everything going on tonight.
You're really getting to know me tonight.
And look at this. The bar's empty because Chuck don't have a stack of papers here. Like, that's what I have my fan.
Just for the audience, when I prepare, I do have a stack of, I'm very well prepared.
Yeah.
Matt goes, I got some ideas, and he was telling me some things. I go, you know what, buddy? It's all you tonight. So, Matt, This is totally Matt's episode.
I know.
I loved it. I just
go.
came home, and I just sat down, and this is it. I'm here.
All right. Well, Barggianos out. Oh, just kidding.
Is this how it feels all the time? You just show up?
Yeah, I know. It's great. I came and set up, and I mean, it's fantastic, ain't it?
No sweat.
Like, you're so relaxed.
I am.
You're not sweating through your hoodie. Like, this is fantastic.
I love it.
Yeah. So one thing I heard jumping right in is weddings. And I heard now that some people are charging, I'll call it a cover charge to their wedding. So they are sending out invitations with RSVPs with prices on the RSVP, and you have to pay when you RSVP. Some people have Venmo links on their invitation to Venmo when you send back, and some you can send a check because that's what we do in 2026.
Is this now the charge? Is that part of the gift to them, or is it?
Well, that's what we're going to debate tonight.
Okay.
You know, so the one I really read about was a couple was charging $75 per person to attend their wedding. Okay, $75. Now, I know it's expensive to get married. It's expensive for anything. But let's go back a few years. I can't talk about this because I was never married. But you and your wife have been married for how long now?
Oh, boy. 08. So you do the math on that one. That's 17? Right?
Okay.
Almost 18 years?
So 17 years ago. Do you remember what your wedding cost you?
Yes. But we were very frugal. So
Okay.
I don't know if I'm a great person to... You want me to explain how we did ours? And what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's go.
Okay. Won't make it super long, but yeah, we decided we wanted to have a destination wedding because we love the beach and all that. So we got married in Destin, Florida. We also decided we wanted to have like only a few people down in Destin for our wedding, but we also wanted to have the reception back here, or more people could come. And we said, whoever wants to come to Florida, and whoever wants to go. So anyway, before I tell you the number, we went down to Destin, Florida. We stayed at a really nice hotel for us at the time. I remember it was a big deal. We got the very top level. I want to call it a penthouse, but it was one of those really tall buildings.
Overlooking the ocean?
Yeah, ocean front, top of the building. That was pretty pricey for that. We had a wedding on the beach. This includes our wedding ring. I'm not going to say includes her ring, but it included my wedding ring. It included her dress. It included her makeup, all these things. Then we got back here, and our reception was at a fire, like a KC hall, fire hall, fireman's hall. So, a little bit lower budget for that. But That whole thing, that's all you can eat, all you can drink. And we had,
Open bar.
Open bar.
Okay.
A lot of people, like your normal, I don't remember the number, but a lot of people. And all that, how much do you think that was going to cost me?
Oh, are you counting like airfare or
that's
what have you?
Our airfare, yeah.
Oh, 17 years ago.
To be fair, we drove.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Hotel, how many nights did you stay?
Oh, it was like 6, like a week,
Okay.
5, 6.
So I'm going to peg that 17 years ago at $200 a night, $1,200, gas, food. I'm going to say your trip there was $2,000. I'm going to say here with the reception, you had catered and open bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you say open bar, the hall supplied the beer or did you have to bring the beer?
We paid and they had everything.
Okay, so they had everything. I'm going to say all in you were between $5,500 and $6,000.
We were under $10,000.
Okay.
Now you got to remember, you've left out. This is when I say ocean front. The hotel was like super nice.
Okay.
This wasn't like a Holiday Inn, and this was a nicer rig. But remember, wedding, hotel room that included our honeymoon because we were there for that and everything.
Okay, that's fair. I probably underestimated the cost of the trip.
Yeah,
but
Florida was more expensive than you think.
Yeah, so you were probably $5,000 here, $5,000 there.
I can say that,
give or take.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
And you weren't even there. Why
I know.
You never even showed up to my wedding.
I know. Well, I used to DJ weddings back in the day. I got some stories about that too.
Did you have a nickname for your wedding when you were a DJ?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Just Matt.
I knew a guy.
Matt.
He was. I didn't know the guy. He was DJing a wedding. Really goofy guy, and his name was Sweaty Eddie.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
I didn't know if you knew him on the circuit.
No, I didn't. So $75 now to attend a wedding per person. So if you plus one, if you and your wife go, it's $150 to attend this wedding. So I guess my first question to you is how close, like where would you cut off, like, fuck that, I'm not going? Like, do they have to be brother, sister, aunt, uncle, whatever it is? When would you say, I'm not going?
You know me, right?
Yeah.
I would go to nobody's wedding.
So if I charged you $150 when Maria and I got married, you would say, no thanks?
And I would make fun of you.
You wouldn't show up to my wedding?
No, if you're charging me $75? Oh,
I mean, you get good food.
No.
Buffet style.
Nope, not going to do it.
Liquor.
I would spitefully give you $1,000 present cash envelope, but I'm not paying to go to a wedding.
When you and your wife have a date night.
Yes.
And go to the local watering hole down the street, not the one where you as a 5'3" individual can't stand straight up.
5'3". Okay, thank you. I seem to be shrinking every episode.
Yeah, I don't know, 5'9", 5'9".
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So not that watering hole where you can barely walk in. That's got the low ceiling that I've never been before, but the other watering hole right down the street that you and your wife frequent every once in a while.
Sure.
On a date night to see a band and get some food and drink some beer, what would you say you and your wife spend?
Say a decent one. Let's go anywhere.
Decent night out.
$75 to $100, let's say.
And you wouldn't attend my wedding for $50 more?
No.
Holy shit!
No, but I'll tell you one thing: when I go to these, as you say, watering holes, I never have to pay another present on top of my fee of what I'm eating.
That's what I'm thinking. So, would you go to the wedding and say, okay, you're not getting a present?
If it was an understanding thing, again, this is a little different. Me and you, I guess, is a good question. But in a normal situation, let's say a random person invited me.
Yeah.
If that was an understood new, thing people are doing, and it was known this is our wedding gift to us, you don't have to bring a gift. I would be maybe say, okay, I'm fine with that. I want to make something very clear, and you know this. I'm not cheap at all. I've tipped this. I tip, I don't care, but I'm a principal person, and I do not like being told what to do. So in that situation, I would, out of spite, I promise you, I would not be at your wedding if you were. Yeah.
Yeah. I just find it weird. Like, and is it the new day that we're in where things are just so expensive? Because I would say just to have your normal wedding, go to a church, banquet hall, pictures, DJ, I'm not talking like extravagant photo booths or anything like that. Just your plain Jane wedding open bar. I would have to assume that's going to cost somebody $25,000 these days.
Okay, and I agree with that. And I know we're gonna get comments saying, "Hey, this is the most important day of your life, and it only happens one time."
No, it used to only happen one time.
in the great wisdom of my brother-in-law, he told me a great not Joe, my other brother-in-law, Jim. He told me a great quote. I was walking down or sitting at the aisle waiting for my bride to walk down, and he whispers in my ear. He goes, "Hey, buddy, I love you." And he goes, "Just remember, you only get married the first time once."
Yeah, right. The first time once.
Thanks, Jim. But back to my point is, we're talking about, you can spend all this money on the best day of your life. I get that. But I'm a big believer in if you can't afford something, you don't do it.
Right.
You don't buy that pair of Air Jordans if you're not feeding your baby. You don't, you know what I mean? So if you wanted to have this big special day, you can do it on a budget. And you can work around that. But people, and then I don't think it's even generational. I think it's just individual, personality. People feel entitled. They feel like, hey, I deserve this. That's fine. No, it's not fine, because next thing you know, you're living in an apartment the rest of your life when you could have put a down payment for $20,000. Not getting into the home thing. I get that's more, but the point is you could have made a better decision on that. So I am pretty stern on that. As far as I don't feel sorry for someone saying, "Hey, my wedding cost $30,000, $50,000. You're stupid."
Right. Yeah, I think the same thing. And I would have trouble these days, at this point in my life, even though me and my wife aren't quote unquote technically married, going out and throwing a big party for $10,000. Like, I have better things I can do.
Even let me ask you a question.
$10,000.
Even at this point in your life, you're older than you would be when I got married. Would you feel more comfortable now spending that amount of money because you can afford it?
No.
Or would you have the same feeling of
same feeling?
Okay.
Same feeling. And I think that's when we were younger, we didn't have nobody that was going to fork out for our wedding. So we didn't have a lot of money back then. So we just didn't get married. We went on about life, to your point. Like, yeah, could I went out and got a loan and got married and paid off a loan for 10 years? Absolutely. But we had more important things to do with our money.
Yeah. I heard a good suggestion. Someone said if you're going to spend all this money on a wedding, is do it at a house. Or the point even further than that, if you can buy yourself a house, have the wedding at your new house, and that way you're having the money you would have spent on the venue and all these things, that could be an additional down payment on your house. And I go, that's actually kind of smart. You're making memories of your new home, if it's doable.
Right.
But also, too, you're two birds, one stone. You're not going into debt, and you're still able to have this magical day.
Yeah, and at this point in my life, like, people aren't getting me gifts if I get married. So it's just really a big celebration and a party. So
I won't be there. So anyway.
Well, I will charge you, and only you. I will make sure your invitation has my Venmo link on there. So, and that brings up a good point when you were talking about destination wedding, and something I saw a while ago, and it just triggered, was bachelor and bachelorette parties. Now, I've seen more lately. Well, back in our day, bachelor party, we'd go to the west side of Illinois and, find some bars and drink, and a bunch of guys have a good time, and then you'd go home.
A party bus.
Yeah. You go home, and then that would be your bachelor party or bachelorette party. Now I'm seeing people like, oh, we're going to Nashville for our bachelorette party, and we're going down to Florida, and we're going down to Mexico. And it's like, some of these people feel obligated, since they're in the wedding party, to join that, and they don't have the money to join that. And I think that's becoming more of the norm now, is destination bachelor and bachelorette trips, than what we did back in the day, where it's like, hey, let's go to the west side of Illinois, find a watering hole, drink a bunch of beer, get a party bus, find some food. We all go home at 4 a.m, have great memories, 5 years down the road.
You know what, though, to that point, think back then, I think the big factor, there was no social media. So you didn't see all these other people doing these things. You might have heard about it. But now with social media, you feel like you have to keep up with the Joneses, and you have to do all these special things. Or back to what I was saying, I'm entitled to that.
Right.
I deserve this. I should do that because they're doing it. Why shouldn't I? Well, the bride smiling on the beach in Mexico is also paying off a $7,000 credit card bill, probably, that you're not seeing.
Right. No, I agree. So, audience, this is a great debate. Like, would you pay to go to someone's wedding? If they charged you, would you pay? And if you would you buy them a gift? Tell us what your thoughts are about this, because it might be becoming the new trend. And I got some daughters growing up, and if this is a new trend, let's roll. I ain't got to pay for nothing.
Oh, God, I can only see Matt making some money. Matt's going to have
Right.
50-50s at the wedding.
Right. Raising money, selling tickets, baby.
I'm gonna keep getting a shoulder tap, like last call on shoulder, 50-50s.
Last call, 50-50, 60-40, 60-40.
I could totally see this.
Yeah. So that's fantastic. Before we move on, a funny story, and you tell me if I was right or wrong, because I kind of go back and
You were wrong.
back and forth on this story. So one of my DJ stories that I tell some folks is, some of us DJs back in the day were close knit, and if something came up, accidentally double book, you kind of cover for each other. And some guys back then, including myself, we didn't run off contracts. We ran off, hey, you got a deposit, expected to show up. That's just the way of the world back then. You didn't need contracts. So guy asked me to do a wedding for him, and it was at the City Museum.
Ooh. Okay.
First time I've done an event down there. First of all, pain in the ass. Okay. But he gave me the deposit, which was very small back then. The whole gig, because I did the actual ceremony, and then we waited around in between their pictures, and then I did the
Macarena
reception.
Oh,
yeah. So it was probably about a 10-hour gig, and
that's a long time.
Yeah, he from start to finish. By the time he set up to take down and everything, and he undercut this because it was a very close friend of his. And then something came up, and his deposit was $100 out of $700. And you think $700 is a lot of money. It's really not a lot of money when you're doing this stuff.
Sure.
So we get to the end of the night, and I text the guy like, hey, did they pay you? He's like, no, they're supposed to give you money at the wedding. So, okay. I mean, we're like half hour away from ending. So I find the bride and the groom, and I said, hey, so-and-so said you only gave him the deposit. Here's your balance. They're like, oh, we forgot our checkbook. Back then, you didn't have Venmo, sure. PayPal, things like that. I mean, you probably had PayPal, but nobody did trans.
Everyone was cash or check.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, let me go ask Uncle Jimmy. Well, Uncle Jimmy didn't have no money. So I told them I was not leaving without my money, and had them open
yes
some of their cards.
Good for you.
Until they had the right amount of cash at the table. Now, party was over. I was packing up. I didn't interrupt their quote-unquote moment opening cards. But I told them, like, hey, I'm not leaving without this money. Like, if you don't have money and nobody else has money to pay me, like, I just did your whole event. Like, you guys need to go to the wishing well and pull out the cards and start opening cards until we get enough cash to pay this off. So that's what they did.
I don't blame you at all. That's a great story, though. People are assuming everything's just going to work itself out, and no, you gotta pay the man.
Yeah, I didn't have a contract. The other guy didn't have a contract. If I leave, they're just like, I'll never talk to this guy again, and I'll be out the money.
And you didn't win the 50-50?
No, they had no 50-50 there either. So
why can't we do 50-50s at weddings? If we're charging people to come into a wedding,
that's even a better idea. You know how many people would buy 50-50 at weddings?
Or how about the 50-50 goes to the bride and groom? Are we inventing something right now?
Yeah.
We need to name that something.
Yeah.
About 50-50 weddings. How about that? We're going to hashtag 50-50 weddings. Get that one started. But for real, that's genius.
Yeah, Barggianos created that. You heard it first on Barggianos.
Bingo. Do you guys remember the dower dance? They would do. What's different than that?
Yeah,
you're not
50-50.
Not whoring yourself out to every guy dancing with.
For $1.
Oh, man. I used to love the dower dance. Oh, anyway.
Yeah. So let's talk about dollar dancing. That's a good segue. Dollar dancing and tipping. So tipping. Here just tip. I'm going to Vegas here. Okay. And booked my wife a wonderful spa treatment. And
ooh.
Yeah, at the end of the spa treatment, first they let me book it all. And then they tell me, oh, by the way, our amenities are going to be down for construction. So you can get the services, but you can't get none of the amenities. So long story short, book somewhere else. So I booked that somewhere else. And at the end, this nice young lady on the phone says, here's your total for the services. And by the way, there is an automatic 20% service charge that's a gratuity to the person performing the services.
Wow.
I'm pretty pissed about that.
Well, okay, I don't get any kind of spa treatments. I've had one in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not normal to have an automatic gratuity, especially in Vegas?
I mean, it wasn't normal, pre-COVID. I can tell you that. She's been to the spa every time. That's like one thing we do there is go to the spa. Even pre-COVID, they had packages, where you can have, 3 items and you pick the 3 items and it's like a 20% discount for getting all 3 items. Now it's like full price, all a la carte, and we're going to charge you 20%.
Now, you said when you go to Vegas, when you get services performed, you always pay cash, though, right?
Correct. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said no money trail on that one.
Yeah,
right?
no money trail, and it's pretty easy. I walk right down the elevator early in the morning, and there's usually individuals. If you go back and watch the last Vegas episode, you'll see us talk about or hear us talk about it. So, yeah, no credit card, no electronic payments there. So, but 20%. So now, I am a tipper. I feel like I'm a pretty decent tipper. I'm not going to tip.
Yeah.
Like you get the 20% and that's all you get. Now, I would have to go way back and really figure it out. But I feel I would probably tip minimum 20% before there was that. But I get it. Not everybody's like us and tips to where it might be, someone only gave them 10% if we just charge everybody 20%. But isn't this why you do the job? Like for tips, like
for me, you're earning the tip. It's not an
Correct.
automatic expectation.
Correct. It's like being a server, right?
Can I tell a tip story?
Yeah.
So, my son and I think it was around Super Bowl, and we went up to, I'll name it. It was we went to Applebee's. Nothing wrong with Applebee's. Just every restaurant's like this. We go to Applebee's. They have some great deals on the app, like really good deals. I got like, chicken tenders, all these things for like $30-$40. No big deal. So I was trying to be a little cost efficient. So what I wanted to do, I'm like, hey, I'll go pick it up. I'm not going to get delivered or all these things. I'm going to go pick it up. There was an option on there. And it goes, hey, would you like to pick it up or go inside? If you're picking up, we can put a number in your parking spot or something along those lines. And I go, no, I drove up here. I'm going to walk inside for the same reason. Not being cheap. But I'm like, I chose to drove up here. I'm out of my house. I get up there. Sweet little girl walks up. Nothing to do with the girl. And I go to walk in. She goes, hey, I'll go grab your food. And I go, oh, okay. Do you want me to come in? And she like walked away, and I'm with my son. And I go, I don't know if I should go inside or get back in the car, because in my brain I'm like, I'm not tipping most likely here, because the whole point is I got out of my house. It's a cold day. I drove here. I walked inside. I picked up a bag. I walked back to my car.
Yeah.
And I felt bad because again, we're pretty big tippers. You know this about my wife and I. But I'm like, this instance, it was the point where I don't want to spend a lot of money because we're already spending a lot of money today. So question to you is what would you do? Like, does that make me a bad person for not tipping someone that handed me a bag? Is that a tippable offense?
No, but I have that for later.
Okay. Okay.
I have that for later. See, we're so good at this. You didn't even produce tonight, and you knew where we were going. You don't need any notes.
It's like
look at that.
It's like we're finishing each other's
sentence.
sentences.
Sentence. Yeah.
Sentence.
Oh wow. He got crazy real quick.
Okay.
So I mean that brings it up. Like, let's just go for it here. Okay, but I am at about 20%. 20%. That's all you're getting. I don't know how they're paid really out there. I doubt they're just getting paid on tips, but maybe they are. I don't know.
My wife. So she's a huge tipper. Like we'll go out. People are like, "Geez, Louise." She admits that she's bad at math, so I can't figure out in our 20-year relationship if she's really that generous or just that bad at math. So be on a lookout of that if we ever got to eat.
Tell her to go see my daughter waiting tables. Have a few beers at that watering hole.
We'll do that. Yeah. Very generous.
Yeah. So here's what I got, Chuck. My handy dandy list.
What is it? Is it a game?
It's a little bit of a game. It's not really a game. It's just right or wrong, and the audience can play along.
Okay.
It's called Tip or No Tip.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm just going to rapid fire. I think there's 9 items on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 items on here. And I'm just going to rapid fire, and you're going to say if you tip or don't tip.
Okay.
Okay? It's going to be real simple here. So, ironically enough, the first one on the list, carry out food.
So I got to say tip or no tip?
Yep.
No tip.
Open bar.
Tip.
Food delivery.
Tip.
Haircut.
Tip.
Food truck.
Ooh. It depends on the situation. If you're at work or something like that, it's taken care of. Different story, but usually tip.
Okay. Housekeeping at a hotel.
Another, I would say, depending on what type of establishment you're at, but if you're in a nice one, I usually tip.
Your restaurant server.
Completely based on if you're doing your job. If you're doing your job to 10%, you're getting a tip. But
okay. It's coffee shop or a restaurant where you have to walk up to the counter and place your order and you stand there to pick up your food.
I'm going to call that one, Matt, a guilty non-tip.
Okay. Ride share service like an Uber or Lyft.
To be honest, I don't do a whole lot of those. So do you tip those inside the app itself, I'm assuming?
Yes.
I'd probably say tip because that's a service. They're picking you up and they're taking you somewhere. Nothing huge, but it's the act of doing something.
And the last one, a bellman at a hotel.
Ooh, I'm not that fancy and bougie to have that in my life, but I'm definitely going for a tip for that. I've done that in Mexico many a times, and I call those pesos.
So you've tipped like 70% of the time.
Yeah. I'm going to go.
There we go. Yeah. So that was very simple.
I like that. Let me go back to one of those was...
Yeah.
Let me see that list, if you don't mind here.
Yeah.
What was the one? Housekeeping, restaurant server, food truck. I had one I was going to say. Haircut for sure. So kind of my feeling about tipping is, are they doing a service? If you're performing some type of service, that's fine. But I always have this kind of like funny question. Think of all these other industries that people do services for. Let's bring up, for an example, say a nurse, for example. Yeah. Say a nurse. A nurse might go in there and they're taking care of you. They're giving you a bath. They're wiping your ass. They're doing all these things that nobody else wants to do. God bless them. And then I got the girl at Applebee's that brought me a bag and walked back inside.
Yeah.
Now, if I give her $5, shouldn't I be tipping that nurse? Same thing for other industries. Like if you're a support person, all these things. Is it based on your wage because the restaurants can get away with paying someone less?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why am I paying more for a restaurant's
right
deal? And again, not knocking any kind of servers or anything like that. And I respect the hell out of them. I think everyone in their life should do something like that at some point to have respect for people. But I often think about that. Where why is one profession get something like that and then another profession don't?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
Look at that list. One more in there. You said the coffee shop. You said the coffee shop where you turn the counter.
Yeah, like a coffee shop or like McAllister's, right? You got to go to the counter and order your food. McAllister's might be a little bit different because they bring your food out or...
They're flipping around the debit card machine basically to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, and almost out of spite, not to the workers, but I'm like, no, this isn't a tipping situation. If I'm sitting at a table and you're bringing me food and you're bringing me a check, all these things, that's a tipping situation. If I'm walking to you to get my food, pay for my food, pick up my food,
right?
No, that's not.
Yeah, I do feel bad in the carry-out instances, and like even McAllister's, like they put on their app like to tip. I pick up from McAllister's frequently, and the one here, we're just so grateful we have a drive-through window. You can only use the drive-through if you order in the app. And they always ask, do you want to tip? Like, what am I going to tip for? I ordered on your app. Is all they're doing is making my food. I'm driving through the drive-through window, giving you my name, and then you're handing me a bag out the window saying, have a good day.
You know, again, I'd call that, if you tip, I would call that a guilt tip.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's even a thing, but I would call it a guilt tip.
Just because you feel guilty for not saying yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you even feel cheap. You're like, well, I guess they're not gonna pay them, and I feel like an ass if I don't give them something because they're looking at me. But yeah, I don't think if I'm picking up food or you're picking up food in your car, you should have to go tip somebody.
Now, I will say there's a little caveat to that. Now I'll explain this story. So, I was ordering breakfast food for a bunch of people at work at Bob Evans. And it asked me for a tip on the app, and I put no tip because they are getting a decent size order together. I want to tip them, but if I'm scheduling an order, I am going to tip them based on when I walk in. Is my order ready? Is everything in there? Like how is the service when I go in? And then I saw the lady, and I know she was, making digs at me. I think the order was like $400. And she tells the other lady, she points at the receipt, which I didn't know it was the receipt at the time. She's like, look at this. And it was a 0 tip. Okay. Because I didn't tip on the app. And I thought that's what she was saying, but I really didn't know. And I was okay with that. And then they got everything together. They helped me walk it to my car. And I said, hey, where can I sign the receipt to add a tip? And they're like, oh, you ordered online. You can't add a tip after you order online. Yep. Well, shame on Bob Evans for doing that. So you know what I had to do? I had to buy a piece of candy at Bob Evans so I could tip on the piece of candy. Matter of fact, I told the worker, here, pick out whatever candy you want here. You can have the piece of candy. I'll buy the piece of candy and tip you on that. So that was a little bit crazy. But had I known she made a snide remark, like if I knew for sure, I don't know if I would have gave her as much as I did.
No. And I think that's a perfect example. If you're ordering like a crap ton of food, if you're ordering $400 worth of food, yeah, you're going to do that. And me personally, I like to give, when I tip people, if possible, cash. It's not always possible because, cash is going in their pocket.
Yeah.
They're not getting anything taken out of that and, all this stuff. So that way they
Yes, they are IRS. They are claiming all their money. Yes.
No, I'm not talking about the IRS. I'm talking about the restaurant and all these other people. So if someone's doing me a good task, like doing a good job, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not talking about IRS. I'm talking more like the person.
No, I'm telling the IRS they are claiming all of that.
Yes,
IRS.
they absolutely are. Yes. As is Barggianos.
Yeah.
We got to make money first to do that, though. So ain't going to happen. But did I ever tell the story? I used to work at Domino's. I was a pizza delivery man.
So was I.
Were you?
Yeah.
Well, look at us.
No baby.
I was not. I was out here. But I had an example where it was snowy, like the worst. Nobody's on the road. You can't drive. And I drove to a church, and I dropped off like 20 pizzas or something crazy. Barely fit in my car. It was one of those nights where you tip. What? Because I almost died getting there, like for real. And walk in there. It's some mom that's just volunteering. It's like a lock-in for these teenagers. And I kind of gave her like here you go. Here's the bill. Trying to be polite, but you owe me some cash here, lady. Like I almost died to get here. And she looks at me and she goes, I'm so sorry. I don't have any money. So I got zero money for driving like 20 minutes in this. Oh, more than that, but miles.
Yeah.
20 miles in the snow. It took me like an hour to get there with 20. And I had to bring every piece of pizza and I had to, that kind of, it was a freaking nightmare. And I was so mad. I wasn't mad at the lady because I'm like, she's probably some just volunteer. But I'm like, someone's ordered that pizza, better. And again, that goes back to the fact that A, was a service delivered. Obviously, pizza delivery back then, but 2, that's a tremendous amount of pizza, tremendous amount of service that you just received that should be rewarded.
And we made, I think when I was driving, it was like 5 and some change.
Yeah.
And like 50 cents per delivery is what they gave us.
Same exact scenario. We were making nothing. It was all tips, baby. And I was actually like, wow, this is great. And no one wanted to drive because it was that bad. But I'm like, I'll do it. I need the money. And I show up and I was so mad. Like it was again, the principle. I was like, I'm so mad on it. And I'm sitting there and then you had to wait for, 30, 40 minutes, whatever you're trying to get all the food in for people to come see.
Right.
That's cut in the rest of your night. All these things.
Right.
Oh, so aggravated.
Yeah. And then did you deliver early back in the day before GPS when we had to use the yellow maps?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's when I was delivering. It's like, oh, take this street, make it right. Yep. Here we go. Oh, I got to flip a page to get there. Yep. Oh, here we are.
I moved out to this area 20 years ago from Anoka, and I go, you know what? I was like challenging myself. I think you know that about me. And I go, I'm going to get a job with my buddy, Jarrett. He worked at Domino's, and he goes, yeah, I get you a job. And he goes, aren't you already working at a grocery store? I go, yeah, but I want to learn the area. So it's a challenge. I know I'd make no money. So I did this. I would call him every 2 seconds, like, dude, how do you get to so-and-so road? I mean, I knew nothing about the area. And there was a map on the wall. That's all I had. And he would do like 6 deliveries to my 1 delivery. This guy was amazing. But I finally got to learn the lay of the land, if you will. But yeah, I couldn't even imagine having GPSs back.
I know. It'd be great.
I'm sure there's some app audience, if you work for a Domino's, some kind of pizza delivery, or is there any kind of app that just sends an information?
Oh, I'm sure there is, because it's got like, matter of fact, I had Papa John's delivered last night, and you can track your delivery, and it was a Papa John's driver. So there's something, and it told me exactly what street he's on. So,
probably track them.
Yeah, it's probably an app in there.
So nice back in the day.
Yeah.
Don't even know.
Yeah. So, all right, Chuck. Well, I think we said it all. We talked about money and people charging for weddings and how Chuck's not going to show up to mine, and, how we tip people. And shout out to Jolie, because this is probably his favorite episode, because he thinks people pay too much for everything.
Also, Matt, audience, if you like what you're hearing and you want to see more, you can catch every episode of the Barggianos podcast in 4K on YouTube. And Matt, it is completely free. Every episode's out there. And the way you get there, you go to youtube.com/@Barggianos.
And hit like and subscribe.
Oh, please like and subscribe. That'd be real nice.
Yeah. At least subscribe.
Yeah.
I
mean, how about you just like me?
Yeah.
And then just subscribe for Matt. So.
Yeah. And hey, we don't need no notes. Yeah. So anyway, it's been fun. It's been real. It's been a good time. But till next time,
Barggianos out.